Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Why Cowboys' Dak Prescott will dominate in 2025 after season-ending injury. The bad news is that Dak Prescott won't play football for the Dallas Cowboys in 2024 again. The good news, if you're Prescott, is that owner Jerry Jones and the Cowboys gave him a shiny new 4-year, $240 million contract extension before this season began, with $231 million guaranteed. Injured or not, Prescott is the future of the Cowboys at quarterback. Jones will likely eventually want to replace him because even when he's healthy, he's been a borderline top 15 quarterback at this point of his career. Prescott will also face a ton of certainty after this season because head coach Mike McCarthy may not even be employed by the team. He is unlikely to be back in 2025, which means Prescott will have a new head coach. Yes, Prescott has a lot of uncertainty ahead of him, but there's that $231 million guaranteed in his back pocket, and there's reason to believe that he'll be dominant for the Cowboys in 2025 and prove many of his doubters wrong. First and foremost, he'll have a chance to be fully healthy. One has to imagine that the Cowboys are going to put him on ice this offseason and wrap him in bubble wrap if they have to. A partial avulsion of the hamstring does not sound good, but alongside the news of a season-ending surgery, there is at least a glimmer of hope for Prescott. That hope was offered by Jones, who told 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Tuesday that he feels good about Prescott's recovery. It's a more common injury in hockey, and he's got doctors that are very familiar with how to repair that, Jones said. And his prognosis is wonderful. It just means that we're not going to have him the rest of the year. Again, that's the bad news. The Cowboys are 3-6, riding a 4-game losing streak, and no immediate relief appears to be on the horizon. Cooper Rush completed 13 of 23 passes in his first start of the season for only 45 yards. The Cowboys' defense gave up 348 yards and 34 points to the Philadelphia Eagles at home. No, it's not going to get better in 2024. 2025 to be a return to form for Cowboys QB Dak Prescott. The wonderful prognosis Jones is talking about is the first part of the plan for 2025, though. Imagine if Prescott had just tweaked something or, heaven forbid, suffered a season-ending injury at the end of what is ultimately a lost season. That could have destroyed 2025 before it even started for the Cowboys. At least now, they know that he can focus on preparing his body and mind for a comeback next season. He's been banged up more than many quarterbacks in his career, and he is 31 years old. In the era of Tom Brady playing until 45, a 31-year-old quarterback is a baby in comparison. That said, if the casual NFL fan has learned anything from the Aaron Rodgers experience with the New York Jets, it's that Father Time is truly undefeated for everyone not named Tom Brady. Prescott has been in the league since being drafted out of Mississippi State in the 4th round of the 2016 NFL Draft. Again, he's not ancient, but having dedicated time off to rest, relax, and rehab could end up being a blessing in disguise for him. Cowboys expected to move on from $40 million 4-time Pro Bowl star. Changes are coming this offseason for the Dallas Cowboys, but it remains to be seen just how sweeping these moves will be in the coming months. ESPN's Dan Graziano reported that the Cowboys are not expected to re-sign star pass rusher Demarcus Lawrence as the defender hits free agency. Looking ahead, Dallas will have cap issues in 2025, but most of those can be alleviated with simple restructures to the Prescott and CeeDee Lamb contracts and an extension for Parsons, Graziano wrote in a November 13. The Cowboys are going to need to address wide receiver, running back, offensive line and several positions on defense in the offseason. Veterans such as Lawrence, guard Zach Martin and wide receiver Brandon Cooks are free agents and probably will be gone. They don't like to rebuild in Dallas, but the Cowboys are in line for a significant retooling, if nothing else. Lawrence was previously on a 5-year, $105 million contract, but the two parties agreed to a restructure in 2023. The star pass rusher is in the final season of a 3-year, $40 million deal. The Cowboys may need to move on from veterans like Demarcus Lawrence to pay Micah Parsons. It has been a less than ideal season for Lawrence, who has been on injured reserve while recovering from a Lisfranc injury. Lawrence had started all 17 games in 2 straight seasons prior to the injury setback in 2024. The pass rusher has played in just 4 games this season. Lawrence posted 50 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 8 quarterback hits, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble in 2023. Cowboys' perfect landing spot for $118 million QB after Dak Prescott injury. The Dallas Cowboys are down, but it's too early to declare them out of the NFC playoff race at 3-6. To compete, however, Dallas is going to need an uptick in quarterback play over what they've gotten from Cooper Rush and Trey Lance over the past 2 weeks. Dallas owner Jerry Jones still intends to try and compete this season with the likes of Mingo and star wideout CeeDee Lamb healthy. However, with neither Rush or Lance having proven yet that they are up to the task, the window is open for Jones to make a free agent play for a veteran QB with a vastly superior NFL resume to both of those players. Ryan Tannehill, 36, didn't sign with a team during the offseason after playing out his 4-year, $118 million contract with the Tennessee Titans in 2023. However, he made that decision not because he is interested in retirement, but because he isn't interested in playing the role of backup at this point in his career. No franchise has yet offered Tannehill the opportunity he is seeking. However, Dallas potentially could, and perhaps should, before its season is too far gone for a salvage attempt to make sense. Spotrac listed Tannehill's market value at $7.7 million annually heading into 2024. Using that figure as a starting point and prorating it over the remainder of the season, Tannehill would cost the Cowboys around $3.4 million for the final 8 weeks. Jones cried poor, which sounded a little like the infamous boy crying wolf when offering an excuse for why the franchise didn't sign current Baltimore Ravens running back Derrick Henry during the offseason. But it's hard to sell anyone on the notion that Dallas doesn't have the funds to go out and add Tannehill, a 2019 Pro Bowler who led the Titans to an AFC Championship game following that season and to the playoffs over the 2 subsequent campaigns.